As you see, my login credentials, I mean my valid email and password, have already been set inside these two fields. When I hit the login button, a request must be sent to the request.php file, which resides inside the php_files folder of the application. What I need to do here is to go to my login.php file, and here for this address I need to create a rule inside the htaccess file of the application. I go to the htaccess file, and here I create another rule. I say when the last segment is a request, the substitution part must be the request.php file, which resides inside the php_files folder of the application. I save the changes. Now I go to the request.php file, which resides inside the php files folder here. Inside the request.php file here, I see that the values of these two login email and login password must be sent to this page. These two values are set inside the login.php. Here login_email and here login_password. Now I go back to the request.php. Here, when a person is authenticated, if he is a valid user, he must be redirected to the dashboard.php file. And for this, a rule has been created inside the .htaccess file of the application. And if he is not a valid user of the application, he must be redirected to the login page of the application. So here, for this address, I have also created a rule inside the .htaccess file of the application. Now, I save the changes and go back to the browser, go back to the application, reload the contents, and hit the login button. Oh, I'm sorry, I have forgotten to set this action attribute to that pattern. I save the changes and go back to the browser, hit the login button. Now I see that I have been redirected to the dashboard of the application. Now I am going to work on the logout link of the application. When I hit the logout link, I must be redirected to the login page of the application. As you see, the request has been sent to the logout.php file of the application. I need to go to the header.php, and here, for this link, I need to create a rule. The last segment is logout, and inside the htaccess file, I create another rule for the logout. I say when the last segment is logout, the request must be sent to the logout.php file, which resides inside the php_files folder of the application. I go to the logout.php. Here I see that an object of the dbHandler class has been created and the logout function has been called. I need to go to the dbHandler class. I see that when the logout function is called, the user must be redirected to the login page of the application. So now I need to change this string to just login, and the rule has been created for it. I save the changes, go back to the browser, go back to the application, reload the contents, and hit the logout. I see that I have been redirected to the login page of the application. Now, what happens when a project is opened for the first time? I mean, after the name of the project, there is nothing in the URL. So the user must be redirected to the login page of the application if he is not logged in. What I need to do here is to create another rule for this inside the .htaccess file of the application. Here I create another rule. I say when after the name of the project and the / there is nothing, the user must be redirected to the login.php file, which resides inside the views folder. I save the changes and go back to the browser. Right nodding and hit the enter. Now I see that I have been redirected to the login page of the application. And when I hit the login button, I must be redirected to the dashboard of the application.